and it was, I guess it was the cemetery board that was there. So I talked to Steve about it, and so I wanted to come up and talk to you guys. So a little bit about me. I've been with the Sheriff's Office since 2002. I got hired by McCroskey. I worked under Steve Mansfield, became a detective with Mansfield. Jamie was there with me. And from that point on, I was involved in a lot of things. We did Swiftwater with Mike. I was on the SWAT team. So I was involved in a lot of fun stuff. Saw a lot of things. Got involved with the Sheriff's Office doing Facebook and the IG page. We created that to get you guys involved in the Sheriff's Office, because the Sheriff's Office only works well when you guys buy into what we do. And we have to do what you guys want us to do. And that's the one thing that I noticed that we're missing. So through this process, I was in detectives for 7 to 8 years. I had a really bad call, and I told my sergeant at the time that I was done in detectives because my cup was full, and I couldn't do that intensive investigation because it was a child, and it made my cup go over. At that point, I had done my bachelor's degree while I was in detectives, and I promoted up to sergeant. I was a sergeant for 3 years. And then, unfortunately for me, I made a poor choice in my life, and I got bumped back down to a deputy. During that process, I got kind of shunned, got everything taken away because I was an active threat instructor. I was an EVOC instructor. I did a lot for the agency, but I upset somebody, and so he's made me pay for it for a number of years. But in that process, I've also been part of the guild and have done everything I possibly could from that standpoint to get more coverage and things like that, and more safety things out for our guys. The big thing for me for the East End going forward is you guys don't. Well, let me ask you this: how many deputies do you think are working right now in Lewis County?
3.
4? 4. How many deputies do you think are working from Peterman Hill to White Pass?
1.
1. So I do my night shift up here because a lot of deputies want to sit in Morton and then handle calls because there's lights there. That unfortunately is not a good thing for our citizens. So that's what I bring to the table. Is I believe that we need to get 6 deputies on the road. Our priority should be the road. That's 6 deputies, 1 out in PL, Doty area, 2 up in the East End, and the rest can work around in the middle. Everybody likes the I-5 corridor because it's hot and you get a lot of calls, a lot of jazz. That's not what our community needs. So the big thing for me, for you guys, is to bring extra patrol up here so it is visible. Just recently, and the way I met Steve was we actually put on a deputy for Friday and Saturday nights, an extra deputy up here. So that allowed me to come up and work Mineral and Ashford. Because if you guys think that you're forgotten up here in Mineral, think about up there at Paradise Estates. They get nothing up there. So it was nice for me to be able to come up and do that. Going through this process, first and foremost, again, I am not a politician. I am a cop. I am just that is it. But I'm a good coach too. I know what to bring to the table for our people to succeed, and I want to have that communication base with the citizens because, again, it's your guys' buy-in on what we do up here. And if you guys don't have a voice, because just we're talking about the commissioners, the 3 to 5, that looks like it might give you guys a bigger voice. It's not. It's the buy-in that we have at our administration for you guys, and that's my big thing to bring to the table. Like I said, I am not a politician, but I'm here for my citizens. And like I said, I got bumped down to a deputy. I strived. I went through a hard time, but I got back, and I've done everything I possibly could at that level. I believe our East End deputies should be capable to jump medical calls. I believe we used to have AEDs in our cars, so we could respond to medical calls because we're already sitting in the car. We already drive fast. We can get there quickly and assist fire departments. So that's what my philosophy is for us, is a force multiplier up here. So that's kind of what I'm trying to bring to the table. I've got 4 blocks that I'm working with, because we have to change so much culture at our office right now. You may think that, again, it's nice to have a politician tell you, hey, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, and especially if it aligns with your views. That's not what we need in law enforcement. Our badge represents everybody. Our badge represents the good, the bad, the ugly. No matter what. Someone calls 911, we have to be there, no matter who it is. So my big thing is it represents we the people. That's not a derogatory term. Some people think it's a derogatory term, but that's our Constitution. And so we represent everybody in this county and in Washington State, or even the visitors who are coming through, coming up to our Airbnbs and things like that. We represent everybody. You may not like me when I come there because I'm going to tell you no, or I'm going to tell you yes, or I'm going to end up arresting somebody that you love, but we're there doing our job for you guys. So that's the big thing for me, is simply taking the politics. It's funny how it's a political office, but taking the politics out of this, because we represent RCW and Lewis County ordinance. That's our focus. We will protect you through the Washington State Constitution, because that's where I get my powers at, is Washington State Constitution, and the supreme law is the U.S. Constitution. So we are last line of defense when it comes to big things like that. But also, in that sense, my focus is to protect you guys, to give you the protection. And when I say, I can't protect you, we need to do this, you guys know that I'm not BSing. There's, like I said, no politics in this. Some of the things that I say to people, they don't like. Because we tell people no too. And that's a civil issue, we can't move on, we have to do this or that. But when we say it, especially with me, Jamie knows this, I always say it all the time, meat and potatoes. I'm gonna tell you the truth no matter what. So that's kind of what I'm bringing to the table. There's, like I said, 4 blocks. We have the administrative block, which is the sheriff administration, meaning the sheriff, the undersheriff, the chief of ops, chief of civil, and chief of corrections. The second portion of it is our administrative staff. The biggest thing with them is learn what they're doing for me, because they're the ones, they're the lifeblood. I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie End of Watch. The paperwork is the lifeblood of what we do. We write so many reports. These people take care of getting the reports up to the prosecutor's office, things like that. They're our lifeblood. So pretty much give them the tools that they need and get out of their way. Don't nitpick them. The next thing is corrections. Our correctional staff is mineral. They feel forgotten. They don't feel like the sheriff's office, they're that stepchild in the sheriff's office, because nobody talks about them. They don't get any of the glory, though they have one of the hardest jobs there is, because they're understaffed. They're being mandatory overtime, meaning they have to come in, and they're dealing with the people that we arrest. So they are dealing with the bad guys, also the people that are having bad days. So getting them involved into the sheriff's office is a priority for me. And then on patrol side, that's where I know everything about patrol. So I'm really good on that. My big thing is get 6 deputies out on the road, primary. Get detectives involved in working with the other agencies. I want to build a coalition of detectives between Chehalis and Centralia, because those are two brothers that have detectives, and that would be used in major incidences for us, and also for the small towns and such, like Morton and Winlock and things like that. So we have a basis to pull from. Also with our detectives, my primary goal, and this is really kind of hitting home a little bit with our recent news, what's going on in the big picture, is ICAC. And that is what is it?
Crimes Against Children.
Yes, Internet Crimes Against Children. And so we get these cases forwarded to us by ICAC, and it's the bad people pulling in pictures of kids. And that leads to finding out that they do it themselves. So I want to work with getting something to where this is a primary goal for our agency. Because the big thing for me is our kids and our elderly. Protect them. Because they can't protect themselves. Not saying you guys can't, but I'm just saying, the goal should be to protect our children and protect our elderly. So working with APS, things like that. But big thing is ICAC. Right now, it's not being pushed as hard as it could be. The other thing is for our side, for patrol, is doing a standalone SWAT team. We used to have them. I was the TL, I was the ATL, I was a training officer. We used to have a 10-man team that could call up for emergency situations. What we have right now is called SRT, and I don't know if they've ever been deployed other than go do a marijuana grow. So that's a safety concern for you folks. Because if we do have a situation, we need to be able to respond and take care of it for you guys. So you aren't having to do it yourselves. Because sometimes I've had to walk away from a call in the East End and pretty much had to tell the person, they're not okaying overtime, they're not okaying this, I'm going to have to leave. Do you understand your rights as a citizen? And that is something that tore me apart. Good news on that little incident there, we were able to get the guy in custody just a day later. So the SWAT team, and then also working with our corrections, creating a response team for inside our facility. We have no type of response for corrections if something happens. Like, I don't know if you guys were around with James Booth. He was the one that did the homicide back on Alaska, killed 3 people, shot another one in the face. Well, when we brought him back to our facility, he was a handful, and we didn't have any type of response for that. They pretty much just left him in a cell and just didn't do anything with him. I mean, he told people he was going to shank them. And that's not okay. That we have to have a response team ready to go for that. So there's a lot of different blocks that I have. If you go on my website, you'll get an in-depth of what I'm trying to bring to the table. People that are running for the sheriff's office want to use things like JNet, things like that. There's organizations that they want to be part of. They want to do some things that sound really good. Again, sound really good, but we need to take care of you guys, and that starts with 6 people on the road and doing what we can do. So that's where I'm at. You guys are my first people that I came out and talked to. So feel free to ask me any questions. And honestly, like I said, I'm a big boy, I'm a cop. I'm not afraid of people being mean to me or saying things. I enjoy honesty, truly, I enjoy honesty. That's another thing, I don't know if you guys pay attention to our Facebook page, but we turned our comments off because we don't want to hear bad things. We're cops. That's how we know that we're doing something that needs to be changed, is, hey, the citizens are vocal about this, we need to respond this way. So, anybody have any questions for me? Go ahead.
In your opinion, what was the cause of the Trestle fire of Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad?
Well, I don't know personally any of the investigation on that, but to me, it was suspicious.
There was none. That's the problem.
Oh, really?
There was
Seriously.
no-
Seriously, they did not investigate it, and they refused to say that it was arson. Even though the DNR that showed up saw a stream of fire on the trestle, accelerant,
Accelerant.
but the investigator said, we can't say if it wasn't a cigarette that was dropped.
Was that our sheriff's office that did that, or was that somebody DNS?
It was-
I can tell you later, combination of
It was
your office and
and
another agency.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so if we're relying on other agencies for information on that, if they're an expert in it, that's the thing we fall back on. Again, there's things that are been out in the media that we made mistakes on. However, it wasn't always us, but unfortunately, we don't put anything out there. If you have noticed, we don't put anything out there to counteract what the public is thinking. One of my sergeants, one time, she was a detective sergeant, and I got mad at her because she was putting information out about one of my cases. And I'm like, what are you doing? I don't need you putting this information out. And she told me, she goes, Dan, if I don't feed the beast news, then the beast will eat us. And I kind of sat back and I'm like, That's true. We definitely need to let people know, hey, this is what's going on. And again, if we did make a mistake, own it, or, hey, this is the information that we have, move on. And that's the other thing with you guys is your voice, like getting back to Mineral not having a voice, East End not having a voice. My goal is to have town meetings in our county so everybody can come and voice their concerns, voice their approvals, and know where we're going for the future. Because if I don't know what you guys want, then I'm just going to be winging it, like I said. But unfortunately for me, I've seen so much of what needs to be changed that I have a laundry list. I'm walking in with a complete laundry list of every bureau, of everything that we can do to build our partnerships back up with Jonathan Myers. I mean, we have to stop being worried. We have to take egos out of law enforcement. We have to take politics out of law enforcement. We need just to be cops, and that's exactly what I want. I want us to be more than traffic cops. Traffic cops are needed, trust me. But I want us to be more than that. I want us to be everything that we possibly can do. Like I said, jump the med call, assist in that. Be in the community, do community events, do speakings. We used to do so much because I was the ALICE trainer, which was a response to active threats. So I would go to schools, go to businesses and teach and explain the ALICE program so people knew how to respond. Even if they couldn't do it, they had something in their brain that there's a pathway that they heard, okay, I remember Dan saying this, use a fire extinguisher, do whatever I gotta do. Something like that. We've completely stepped away from our citizens. So that's the big thing for me is re-energize this agency to get back out to you guys. Yes, ma'am.
How many openings are there? How many are running?
There is Tracy Murphy and Matt McKnight. Tracy Murphy is a sergeant with Centralia. He runs GANet. Matt McKnight is deputy chief, I believe, for Chehalis. Kenny Cheeseman used to be with us. He retired a few years back. He's running. And I believe that is it as of right now. Justin Kangas, he used to be with us. He did do his PDC. I don't know if he has a new job, so I don't know if he's actually going to step forward, but he has the process set for that. So there will be a primary in August. There'll be in May. Everybody will put their money down on the line and say, hey, I am running for sheriff. And then we'll have a primary in August, and then we'll have whoever those two will move on to the November ballot.
So it's two.
It will be two. Right now, it's a large gambit.
For the primary.
Yeah, it's a large gambit. So you will hear a lot of people, and that's one thing for me is I want everybody to go out there and look at everybody, because the big thing for me, our last turnout voting wise, side note completely, was terrible. Everybody's disenchanted. They don't want to vote. That's not how we run our county. That's not how we run our cities. That's not how we run our country. We have to have you guys vote. Doesn't matter if you vote Democrat, you vote Republican, or if you vote independent. You just need to vote, and that's your voice. I mean, no matter what. Then you can bitch all you want, but you did your part. So, anybody else?
Yep.
Go ahead.
So why do we not have 6 deputies on patrol, and what does that impact the budget for the sheriff's office to do that?
Well, that's the big part right now is the budget, and the fact is the focus of what we are doing. So we have some other programs that we do in the office that I believe can be shifted to non-law enforcement personnel. So then we get those bodies out on patrol. And then we work a 10-40 shift. So you're 5 days on, 4 days off, 5 days on, 4 days off, 5 days on, 5 days off. But our shifts are pretty much almost bracketed. So I want to spread out I want to keep the schedule, but spread out the start times throughout the day so we have more coverage on different times throughout the day. Because between 4 o'clock, when I sign out of service, between 4 o'clock and 5:20, we got 2 deputies for the entire county. And so if you got a person in custody, then you got 1 deputy out there. You got two in custodies because it's just one of those nights that happens, you got no coverage out there. And unfortunately, Centralia assists us a lot in that general area. Chehalis comes out a little bit, but we have nobody else. There's nobody else because everybody's gone home. They're all 43, meaning they're on call. So I want us to do different start times so we have more coverage through that. So, and, you know, yes, it's going to be one of those adjustment things, but that's why we have seniority. Seniority, you get a pick, boom, boom, boom. The bad guy on the bottom of the totem pole gets that one shift that nobody wants. But that shift is as important as everything else that we do. We just need more coverage out there, and I think just doing what we have and then changing start times and end times will make a huge difference for that. So focusing on detectives, getting at least the detectives full, and then focusing on getting 6 bodies out on the road is a mandatory. Because then you got to think, we got people who go on vacation, so then we're down to 5. Now you flip that right now, I got 4 people on my squad. 1 goes on vacation, we got 3. And now I'm sorry, we're the 10th largest county space-wise. And once you get the East End deputy from top of Peterman, I mean, you're by yourself. And that's the reason why I do the night shift up here, because I'm not afraid of the dark. I've been up here, I've done this gig since 2002. I love the East End. I love dealing with my folks up here, even my bad guys. They all respect me, and they will come actually to my assistance, which is, it's kind of funny, but they like me because I treat them fair, but I'm also, like I said, RCW. If you violate the RCW, you have a victim, I'm going to put you in jail. And that's one thing that Lewis County does have out of every other county. You guys can talk about how Pierce County has this, Thurston County has this. We have a jail facility that we will take people and put them in jail for driving while suspended third. If you're that type of problem, we have the ability to put people in jail, and that does make a huge difference for our community. Go ahead, Mike.
So kind of a comment more than a question, but when I was active on the fire department, we would respond to a call here locally. Person was a danger to themselves and to the family. I can't transport without law enforcement.
Correct.
We had to wait 2 hours to get a law enforcement official there so we could transport this patient. And, because I cannot take them against their will.
Right.
So, you know, and that creates a huge problem because my staff is sitting there not able to respond anywhere else because we're sitting there. So it's a domino effect
Yes.
of not having the support from when you need it from.
And that's also the information that has to be transferred to us through dispatch, is the situation, what's going on. And I mean, ITAs, we have a great facility out west in Centralia. It's called the Stillhammer facility. It's through Cascade. It's our first, we've had it for a few years now. They have voluntary beds and they have involuntary beds. It's instead of taking somebody to the hospital where they're treated by a doctor, and then we hopefully a DCR will come in, somebody with Cascade Mental Health, hopefully they'll come in to deal with this person. We can actually take them straight to that facility and skip all the BS, and they get the help that they need. So we are lucky,
That's good.
truly lucky in Lewis County to have that facility, and we use it a lot. But again, it's the information there's a lot of characteristics of, hey, but again, you got one deputy in the East End he's on a call, he's dealing with an assault. They have to bring somebody from the West End, they're coming from Chehalis, that's your time frame. I mean, that's the issue that we have up here. If we have 2 up here, somebody can break away. Like I said, this just recently with our overtime gigs that we were having, I'm able to come up and work Mineral. I had asked the other person, I'm like, hey, do you want the hot zone or do you want to go up to Mineral and Ashford? And they'd be like, hey, we'll do this. And we would split so we were able to cover, because we are a big U, so we were able to cover both sections. So that's one of those things. But again, even with 6 people, that's not a lot.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's better than what we have right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Mineral is planning to have the transit bus to run through here. would you guys able to be part of that? Cause you know, some knucklehead be on a bus, that's all they do is ride the bus and cause trouble.
Well, that's up to the bus driver, that's up to the bus driver and wherever the bus stops at. If it stops out in front of the store and the store has the issue with it, they just gotta call us. That's the big thing. We respond to trains and we respond to buses. I mean, if there's a knucklehead and somebody calls us and said, hey, we need you to deal with the knucklehead, we'll come and deal with it. We may not be able to do what you want us to do with him, but at least we will come there and figure out what needs to be done. Because we can't violate people's constitutional rights too, but we can also make it very uncomfortable for people to do stupid stuff.
So does the transit agency have their, I think they do, but I think they have their own security too that respond to their,
If they have their own security, they're not law enforcement.
I thought they.
So, as far as I know. So. You have something?
Me?
Yeah.
I was a question.
Go ahead, I want it.
Well, so for those of us who are in businesses where we are bringing tourists into Lewis County, it is known that Lewis County is not a sanctuary county. Is that something that is in, that ICE can come here? Is that something that?
ICE can go anywhere they want. We, as law enforcement for Washington State, cannot assist ICE.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, ICE can go anywhere they want in the United States of America. They hold that commission, so they are able to do what they believe is the right thing to do. We don't, under Washington State law, we do not assist them.
Okay, so you all look at it, it's not really something that you all are,
Yes, we are not, we don't participate in anything. They do monitor our jail facility for the people that do bad things.
Yeah,
We do not give them the information. We don't participate in that because, again, under Washington State law, it's illegal for us to do that.
yeah, okay, all right.
But, and again, we understand, trust me, I was working Ashford. You just brought up a great point for me. I'm working Ashford, Paradise Estates. I'm up on Skate Creek Road North at post 1, just on the top of the hill, looking down at the bridge, running radar. Speed limit is 35 miles an hour. Well, Friday night, all of a sudden, I'm just getting everybody at 50 miles an hour. It's like crazy, and I'm like, hey guys, gotta slow it down. Well, they're coming up for the Airbnbs, and their Google Maps is telling them it's 50 miles an hour, and I'm like, I understand what it says on your phone. You gotta watch the signs for us.
Yeah,
But that's, we aren't helping ICE in the sense of that, and it's not that they're doing anything wrong under Washington State law. It was mandated for us not to do that.
yeah. And the other thing, other people who may have told you this, but the fire department now has 12 volunteer firefighters, so they might be good to talk to about, the division of labors for situations like Mike's.
Yes, and that's like I said, the big thing for me is taking care of the community. I really like the Steilacoom law enforcement. Those guys, when I was thinking about coming to law enforcement or from Elma, because I started in Elma, I looked at Steilacoom because I was a firefighter before. I was a firefighter EMT, and then I went into law enforcement because I had a bad call, and I decided that I'm going to be a hammer instead of somebody that goes and takes care of people. So, but Steilacoom Fire and police are same. So it's kind of one of those things that I brought in and like I said, with Steve Mansfield, we were able to do a lot of things. So we had AEDs in our cars. So we'd be first in on aid calls and be able to start CPR and then put the AED on and hopefully get a zap. That's the reason why I still respond, because I don't want you to be having to do CPR on your loved one. I'd rather come in, get you calm, take over, and let me do that. And until aid gets there and takes over. That's our job. I mean, like I said, we do the ugly part of society. An ugly part means sometimes that we have to step in and do life-saving measures that are hard for families. So that's the big thing for me is holding the people that we can hold accountable, RSOs, registered sex offenders, making sure that they understand the rules that they have to follow. Have our detectives continually trained so they know exactly what they can do, and bring the detective groups together, get patrol involved in our community, get more people out here for you guys. Empower our office completely from the get-go, from the bottom to the top. And as the sheriff, be able to come out and talk to the folks and have the people that are, hey, I'm upset with this, I'm upset with that. I am not a spokesperson for the Republican Party, I'm not a spokesperson for the Democrat Party, I'm a spokesperson for the citizens, and we work under RCW, which is Washington State law. That's my job, is to come out and figure out ways to be able to protect you guys better. Yeah.
So, a while back, you know, when I first moved to Minnow, there used to be a ride-along program. And I thought it was great because it helped the officers understand the community a little better by having somebody from the community in the ride-along programs.
So we still do have the ride-along program. It's pretty much if the citizen wants to ride with you, then they can. But what that point there is I want to, instead of, because some people want to have an advisory board over the sheriff, saying this is what you guys need to do on mistakes and things like that. What I want is to get what's the word? Sorry, Jim, I just totally citizens academies. Get citizen academies opened up. Have them have representatives from all over. Have a citizen academy for the East End and have a citizen academy for the West End. Because a lot of people think, well, I know what law enforcement is because I watched NCIS. I've seen this. I watched live TV. Okay, it's feast or famine out there. I mean, it's completely different. I had a gentleman, Bill Sarin, who he was so adamant about the advisory board. So I was like, hey, Bill, come out and ride with me. And so he came out and he was amazed at everything that we do. I mean, from the property line dispute to I got into a pursuit with a gentleman during this time, to a person who we ITA'd because she jumped out in front of us in the middle of the night. I mean, Bill was like, wow, this is completely different than what I expected. And so he's like, no, but again, he believes in educating people. So opening these type of citizen academies up for the people that want, because it comes down to the civic portion of it. Just like you have to vote, if you want to know what your sheriff's office is doing, what law enforcement is doing, give you the ability to do that. Then that also goes back to our volunteers. We used to have a volunteer program. So we'd have people that would volunteer. They'd go through a small little academy. They would do RSO checks. They would do flyers. No, I guess not checks, but they'd do flyers. They would do community events. They would do parades. And that got that again, what is that doing is getting the buy-in from my citizens involved in the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
We went away from that, and that's something that we need to bring back, is that kind of like what Mike and I were talking about, just bringing back community. And we are part of your community. Yes, there's people in every profession that just get paid and do their job. But I believe that if we inspire my employees, that they'll become part of this, because this is what I want you guys to do. Okay, you just give me a task, boss, and I will go out and do this. And that's pretty much because that's all of our people are. Just give me a task. If that's what you want, we will make that happen. If you just want me to do traffic stops, okay, no problem. It's not ugly. It's easy. So people, we see the sheriff's office doing all these traffic stops. Well, unfortunately, our job is ugly. We crash cars into other cars. We make arrests. Things go wrong sometimes. Own it. Move on. Give the people the knowledge of what occurred. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, go ahead, boss.
What's the relation between the sheriff and the state trooper? I can answer trooper to deputy. Yeah. Great relationship.
You
work together, do it pretty much.
We work together great. East End troopers gone home by midnight. So your law enforcement you may have a Morton officer till 1. That's it. That's our coverage. So, but Morton, the East End troopers, when they're out, huge asset for us. Huge asset. They do a lot of cop work instead of a lot of traffic work with us too. I mean, a huge asset for us.
So it's a good working relationship.
Yes. Like I said, street level, perfect. No issues at all. Like I said, I don't believe there's any issues with the command staff. So.
Yes, boss.
Speaking of traffic, that Mineral Road North, right by the road there, people are speeding there like 70 miles an hour.
I know. I work it.
Loggers,
When I'm up here, I work it, and see, and that's the thing is the more you guys are vocal about what's going on in your community, like I said, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So if you guys just get fed up and don't call us or say whatever, because I watch the community pages, like I said, because that's where I get a lot of information about things that are going on, bad guys doing bad guy stuff, because you guys don't even call anymore. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna head up over here. Hey, guys, did you see this? So,
I mean, every week there's a deer died right there along that.
not me this year. I have not hit a deer yet.
I find out 2 days later, so it's too late for me to
Yeah,
take it.
no.
If, given that there aren't that many deputies, and although I recognize you're trying to raise the count of
Yep.
them for more coverage, are there things that can be done through the sheriff's office for people in remote areas who don't have the coverage they would like? I mean, is it possible to give people, maybe grants to bring cameras or other security?
We don't have
things like that?
anything like that, but what we can do is reinstitute reserve program. And that gets another person who's qualified to do law enforcement action in the passenger seat of one of our deputies. And so that's how we can force multiply. We used to have a reserve program. We used to have a great reserve program. So that's something that I'm looking at trying to bring back. COVID, that was the excuse. We had COVID and that just went away. I didn't understand it, but.
I know when people have neighborhood community watches, those are usually locally organized, and
Yep.
people don't have law enforcement,
Yep.
privileges. But is that something that?
I believe in Community Watch. I love that program because, and that's where having that deputy buy into that community. So you have a community watch meeting, deputy's able to go there, he can go there and listen. That's kind of like, we have a contract with Vader. So we have a command staff or one of our deputies go to the Vader City Council meetings, and so they get to actually hear what's going on. Vader contracts with us. So it's just like that. It's just like the Community Watch program. Have that deputy in there listening to the hey, we got this new person living in an RV down here, or they're down on Wold Road, over there off the Forest Road. They're been there for a month now, got garbage everywhere. Can you deal with it? Things like that. So I'm 100%, like I said, force multiplier. Whatever we have to do within the limits of Washington Constitution and the U.S. Constitution, let's do it. Let's figure it out. And again, like I said, meat and potatoes, I'm not a politician, but I am here to do whatever I have to do to get this place safe. And I'm going into this, I moved into the county to run for sheriff. I do not want to go retire. I'm 56 years old. I'm still out shagging calls because I love the job. I don't want to go out of this with any more regrets in my life. I already have enough regrets. I want to go out and do everything I possibly can for my citizens and for this office, because that's the one thing I have done through this entire career is I've seen what this office could be, and we were close to it with Mansfield, very close. We just didn't take that one more step. So, and I believe that we take that next step, figure it out. It's going to be painful for everybody, but again, I'm here. That's what we need to do. So. Good? Oh, got one, boss. I know you don't. You ready to go?
It's maybe an easier one. You have a family, and where do you call home?
So, getting back to my trouble. So in 2018, I had an affair with another officer. I lost my stripes, went through the period. I've always looked at myself as Captain America. High morals, high standards, everything like this. I made a huge mistake in my life. It was a very big struggle for me. That being said, I have great kids. I have a great relationship with my ex-wife. I live at Mary's Corner. So, like I said, I have made mistakes. I'm empathetic to people that have gone through mistakes. So I understand that sometimes you're not the bad guy, you're just